I was pretty cut off and isolated from society before. You know, when you're having those panic attacks, dissociative episodes, you don't want to have those in public because they're really disorienting. So you tend to isolate. You know, I had a lot of anger management problems. You know, I was cut off because I didn't want to be around people. I'm Medric Cousineau. I'm a retired Air Force captain. I served with HS-443 Squadron and HT-406 as a flight instructor. And my journey into the world of PTSD actually began in October of 1986, 500 miles off the coast of Newfoundland in the middle of the North Atlantic. Somebody had recommended I read a book called Until Tuesday, which is a story of a gentleman named Luis Carlos Montalvan. He's a U.S. Special Forces captain who returned from Iraq. He'd been hurt, and Tuesday is the story of, Until Tuesday is the story of his service dog, Tuesday. And that really opened the door.
Wait, girl.
I got a telephone call one day that I'd been selected into the program, and I was like, whoa, you know, because all of a sudden it was like, on one hand it was very, very, like there was so much hope, and on the other hand it was so scary. What's the relationship like? Wow. It's, I mean, we're, you know, Ty and I are kind of stuck like glue. You know, her and I are virtually inseparable. You know, as I tell people, we're a match set. You see me, you see her. So what does Ty do to help me in my day-to-day living? She's kind of like my emotional early warning system. She can wake me up from my night terrors. She watches my back when we're out in public. She helps me from the, you know, the panic and anxiety attacks, the dissociative recall. So on one hand, you know, she has a really amazing skill set, and on the other hand, she's a dog, and that bond with your animal is just, you know, it helps. One day in early January of 2013, Ty and I were out for a walk with my wife, and we were talking about the impact that she'd had on my life and why it was so important for others to have access to the same kind of help.
We've always been fundraiser type of people. We just don't want, you know, people to not get a dog because of financial reasons is the main thing.
It stems out of something that you're taught in the military on the second day that you're there, and it really is a thing called the fireman's carry. But it's really enforcing in you the lesson that we do not leave our wounded out there on the battlefield. I was starting to get better, and I knew that there were hundreds, if not thousands, of my brothers and sisters in arms that were struggling with their versions of exactly the same issue. And I just knew that we had to do something, and so it was born.
My name is Kimberly Gingell. I was a logistics officer with 36 Canadian Brigade Group Headquarters in 2001. I really didn't do anything. I just lived in the house. I was able to get myself out to quilting class on Wednesdays, and that was about it. Crowds forget crowds. That just didn't happen. I think what Medric is doing is awesome. It's something, like, if I think back, I believe over my years in the forces, I do believe I've met people who had PTSD, but of course it wasn't called PTSD back then. But I think that they just give us, the veterans, hope and allow us to carry that hope through. Like, there's nothing worse than being trapped and not being able to do things that you want to do. With these dogs, it puts a little bit of sunshine and eventually a lot of sunshine in your life. And I do believe that they do help prevent suicide, because that's your buddy, and you don't think that way because you have a reason to get up in the morning. You got to go out, you got to feed them. Well, she's always with me, she's always there, and it's just nice knowing that just an arm reach away, she's there. We do everything together. We have a very strong bond. Like, we're one. She's an extension of who I am, and I'm an extension of who she is,
They're a wonderful dog, they really are.
Yeah, it's a good girl. Yeah. Good girl, yes. Yeah. Oh, your face is all dirty.
Ty's so funny. She makes me laugh. There are days that, when she's at home and she's out of her vest, her nickname's Goofball. And if you believe in reincarnation, she was a paper shredder. And she's just like every other dog, but then she has that amazing skill set. Part of life with a service dog is that, yes, they're very in tune with you, but you as a handler have responsibilities for them. You have to take care of their physical and mental well-being also. It's important that your dog has be a dog time, where they can play with their toys and they can fulfill their needs. And part of that is, for dogs, is they have a natural desire to walk, they get their nose into things and whatnot. As I tell people, if somebody takes a knife and cuts you very badly to the point where you need a specialist care, there are going to be scars and you're going to bleed, and they seem to understand that. It's sort of very simple. Problem is that if they cut your mind and you need a specialist to help you, all of a sudden it doesn't have the same, causality, the same effect. It's like, why can't you just get over it? Kind of, there isn't a good answer to that question. You can't get over it because you can't get over it in some cases. Until we get to that point where there's no longer the ravages of PTSD, that the treatment modalities, the adjunct therapies, including service dogs, are made available so that our veterans don't have to battle the demons that they do. So that means that if we get there, Paws Fur Thought's work is done, and I could be okay with that. She's helped me reintegrate back into public. I mean, there's certain things that I may never become completely comfortable with, but vast improvements over where I was. I mean, does it solve all my problems? No, they don't get any worse. What kind of relationship do you have with somebody who saves your life? I'd say a pretty special one. She saved my life.